My name's Suzie Johnson, and I'm from Frontier Behavioral Health, and I was asked to come today to talk a little bit about families and children being stuck at home and kind of just some resiliency things. And so at Frontier Behavioral Health, I oversee access to care, which is our intake department, and I just wanted to let everyone know that if you do want to come into services, we are operating. We're not operating face-to-face, but we are doing intakes, and so if you would like to come into services, feel free to call our phone number at 838-4651 and then extension 012082. And I'm just starting out with that just to let you know that services are available, and at Frontier Behavioral Health, we're very committed to making sure that all of the needs of our clients and those in our community are met. So today, I was asked to come and talk, and I put together what I'm calling the COVID-19 Family Resiliency Kit. I'll show you what this is. So it's just a little resiliency kit, and I'm using it as to have little objects to really talk about different things we need to be aware of right now with our families and kids. So the first thing that I'm going to bring out of my little resiliency kit, and you may or may not be able to see it very well, but it's a little bag of Legos. Now these Legos, the reason I picked these Legos is they represent Barbara Fredrickson's broaden and build theory of positivity. What does that mean in regards to our response to the COVID-19 virus and our family and our ability to be able to handle this crisis? Well, the reason I wanted to talk about Barbara Fredrickson's broaden and build is because studies show that for those who have more positivity, they tend to be more accurate and careful in decision making and are more effective interpersonally. Right now, we are in a position to make important decisions every day. For example, how are you responding to the shelter in place? How are you handling being stuck in the house with maybe your siblings and your parents and you're driving each other crazy? So positivity would be an important thing to have when dealing in confined situations. You know, are you able to be mindful when you go to the grocery store? That's another factor of positivity that's important. Are we being conscientious of others and their needs? From Fredrickson's research, she emphasized 10 different forms of positivity. These 10 forms include joy, gratitude, serenity, hope, pride, amusement, inspiration, awe, and love. And I want to just talk a little bit about a couple of these just to give you some tools or some ideas of things you can maybe do with your families at home. So, for example, one of the positivity forms is gratitude. And I want to just talk about gratitude because it's so important that we are able to exercise gratitude. And so I want to challenge you sometime this week with your families. In my little kit, I have a little journal, and I really want to encourage each of you, kids and adults, to keep a gratitude journal. You know, every day we have things to be thankful for, and I think that during this time, it's important to reflect on what we're grateful for and the people in our life that matter and just all of our resources that we have. And also, I just want to encourage kids to even think about this too, and adults, that right now we're in the middle of history and our thoughts and feelings and what we're going through matter. So I really want to encourage you to get a notebook, get a journal, get something, and I want you to write every day, write about your fears and your concerns, because it's a great way to A, practice gratitude, and then B, really just reflect on what's going on right now in the moment. Another thing as far as the positivity factors is joy and serenity. In your home, you know, you're stuck in your house. What can you do in your home environment to make it feel more serene and at peace? The world is chaotic right now, and we don't know what's going on at times, and so I think that if you can bring some color into your home, you know, bring some flowers, light a candle, have soft music, just really make your home environment a place of peace, so that you can just enjoy each other and be together with each other. So those are a couple of positivity ideas that I would like you to encourage. And in addition to being grateful, I mean, gratitude really does help us become more resilient. And so that's one thing I just want to emphasize. Another thing I want to take out of my little resiliency kit is I have a little compact mirror. It's just a little mirror. You can look at yourself. And the whole reason I picked this mirror is I really want to encourage everyone to have time of self-reflection. You know, sometimes when a crisis or a situation happens, I think it's important for all of us, kids, the parents, all of us, to be reflecting on our character strengths and our virtues. What do we bring to the table? You know, there's a really great website, www.authentichappiness.com, and you can get onto that website and you can do a signature strength survey, and it will help identify your top 27 strengths. And so what I've done in my own life is ask myself, of those top strengths, how can I use them right now in this time of being stuck at home maybe for 30 days or however long we're here? What can I do to cultivate some of those strengths? For me, some of my top strengths are love of learning. So for me, I can really devote some time to learning, you know, reading a book, doing some research online on a topic that's really interesting to me. And this can be for the kids and adults. You know, what are you interested in? If love of learning is your strength, how can you use that during this time? Another thing that I would like to encourage you to do, and I'll bring out my next little item, is a little bee. It's a cute little bee, finger puppet. And really, this little bee is to remind us to be kind, you know, to be humble, to be patient. Just be kind. You know, kindness goes a long way. And research shows that, you know, even us acting in kindness to some people, just others watching us be kind helps elevate their mood. And I think at a time like this, it's really important to be mindful of how we treat other people. So that's another one of my little items that are in the box. The next item that I want to bring out is a little bendy guy. And this little guy, he represents flexibility. Because I think right now we need to be flexible. We don't know. From one day to the next, we hear different news stories and different updates. And, you know, we might have thought we were going to go to school on Monday, but then we didn't go to school on Monday. And we're anxious about how are we going to catch up with our classes. And I just want to encourage you to be flexible. You know, we will get through this. And this little bendy guy is just to remind us that we can be flexible and we can roll with whatever comes our way because we're strong and we're resilient and we have our family members to help us get through. So this little bendy guy is be flexible. Let's be flexible. The next little item that I have is a little flashlight. And this little flashlight is really to represent be a light. You know, as a parent, how can you be a light to your kids? As a kid, how can you be a light to your siblings or to your friends? How can you be calm in the midst of the storm? Because sometimes it feels anxious. We feel out of control, but we have to remember that we have the light in us and we can be strong and we can shine that light for others. And so this little flashlight is to remind all of us to be a light. To our families and to our friends and to our community. And that can be even at the grocery store. You know, don't take the last of something if you have some at home. Give it to the other person. You know, that's a way we can be a light and we can show, you know, sometimes bad things happen and we have a choice. We can let that make us bitter or better. And my hope for me and for my family and for all of us is that we choose to make it better. So that's the little flashlight. The next little item in my bucket is I have a little stress ball. And this little stress ball, he's here to remind us to stay fit. You know, how are you eating and sleeping? Are you maintaining your level of exercise? And I know that we can't go to restaurants right now and most of our gyms are closed, but you know, we have a house, maybe we can walk around the house 10 times, or maybe we can do some push-ups or some sit-ups or something. And you know, the fact that we don't have restaurants to go to, we can have family dinners around the table and talk about what are we grateful for today. You know, we can reflect on what are our goals for the next year. How do we want to be a light to others in our community? How can we reach out to our neighbor? Maybe our neighbors are shut in and maybe we can call them on the phone and offer, hey, can I have Uber Eats send you some food? You know, what are some things we can do to stay fit? And so this little stress ball is to remind everyone to stay fit, you know, to be mentally fit, physically fit, nutritionally fit, and get your exercise. And if you need to talk to someone, call a mental health professional, call your counselor, set up a phone meeting or a telehealth meeting, do something to stay healthy. I have a couple more. The next little one is a thing of bubbles. And this bubbles is really to remind everybody to have fun. We don't have to be stuck in our house and miserable. We can make conscious decisions to have fun. You know, let's laugh, let's watch a funny movie, let's play some games, let's be mindful to have fun, to not just be so caught up in the news and what's going on. Let's limit that. Let's just bond as a family and choose to have some fun. And then last item I'm going to talk about is I have these little erasers. And what these little erasers stand for is be patient. Everyone makes mistakes. As a parent, you might get frustrated with your kid because they're getting on each other's nerves and you're anxious and you might, yell at them. Forgive yourself. It's okay. We're at a tough time and nobody's perfect and there's no manual of how to handle this. So I just want to encourage parents, be gracious with yourself. Permission to fail, ask for forgiveness and move on. And same with kids. We're in this together and everyone can help each other. So those are just a few resiliency tools I wanted to share today. So.
Dr. Johnson, we have a few questions that have been coming in.
Okay.
Folks at home watching our Facebook Live here. One of the questions we're getting is, how do you speak to young children about this? As a parent, a lot of parents dealing with children at home right now, what is the best way to speak with them about what's going on?
Okay. Well, I think the first thing to do is to get onto their level. I think it's important to stop what you're doing and to sit with them and let them really share what their fears are. I think sometimes parents can jump into trying to help take away the fear without really even knowing what the fear is. And so then sometimes we can make it worse, not intentionally, but accidentally, because we're not really hearing what they're saying. So I think the most important thing to do is sit down eye to eye with your kiddo and ask them, what's going on? How are you feeling? What do you know? What do you understand? And then you would sit with them and kind of explain what's going on, and talk to them about, we're going to get through this. And, this is the importance of, remembering to wash our hands and to take care of ourselves and to make healthy choices with that. So.
Another question we have is, a lot of families are separated right now.
Right.
Aunts and uncles that unfortunately we aren't able to see right now. What would your message be as far as phone calls, video calls, and how important that connection is in keeping that connection, especially to some folks who are by themselves?
Yeah, that's a great one, because I think that's really important. Because of our technology being what it is today, we can call on the phone, we can FaceTime, we can Zoom somebody. There's lots of opportunities, and I encourage that. I think you would even plan a consistent meeting time every day if you have to, or once a week, but to really be purposeful in reaching out to your friends and loved ones and families. Some individuals are using apps that can facilitate a game night, or just being able to have a dinner together. You make dinner at your house, they make dinner at their house, you put out your iPad and you guys have dinner together as a family. I think we can be creative, and I think that's one of the things about resiliency, is that the more that we are resilient, we become more creative, and we can have creative ways of connecting and reaching out and letting others know that we love them. So.
Dr. Johnson, another question that we're getting from our Facebook Live audience: are there any signs that parents should look for in their children that would maybe indicate a need for professional help that they should be aware of?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think one thing that you should be aware of is if they're just really short-tempered, agitated, maybe more emotional than normal, maybe doing repetitive behaviors, maybe even too much hand washing. I think we just need to be aware of some of those signs of how they're feeling and if they're getting anxious, and to have, again, that conversation that lets them know that as the parent, you're with them in it, and you're gonna help them get the help that they need. But yeah, be mindful of just changes in behavior, maybe not able to sleep, maybe they're not eating very well. Those are all things that we should be aware of. So.
Thank you for that, Dr. Johnson. In that same vein, if those signs are seen by a parent, what advice would you give them for next steps?
Yeah, I would encourage them to help their kiddo get help, get support. Like I mentioned earlier, at Frontier Behavioral Health and other agencies in town, we're still offering mental health services to help the families, to meet with the kids. They can call right now today and get a phone intake and schedule an appointment. And we're going to be creative in it, because we're not seeing anybody face to face, but we'll be able to, through the phone, have connection until we can get back into face-to-face contact again. But I think it's important to hear what they're saying, give an opportunity to write about what they're saying, get some crayons out, help them to draw a picture to try to help express what they're feeling, because it's important that they are validated in their feelings and that they're allowed to get those things out, and then assure them that you're going to get them the help that they need. So.
Another question we have is taking care of your own mental health. There's a lot of folks worrying about everyone else, and
Right.
a lot of times that's at the sacrifice of themselves. How important is keeping yourself mentally healthy as well?
Yeah, no, yes, I 100% agree. You know, I'm a mental health provider myself, and I am a mother of 6, and so I'm a very busy person. But myself personally, and I would encourage all parents and individuals, is to make that a priority. You know, for example, right now we're in seclusion at home, working from home, but I'm still getting up at my normal 4 a.m. and getting my workout in, and, you know, spending time to do meditation, write in my own journal. Before I get into my work for the day, I'm still keeping on track with meal planning and eating right, and I want to encourage everyone to do that. I think that this is a time where some people, you know, might back up from their normal schedule, and I would say don't back up, even be more scheduled, be more purposeful in maintaining good sleep hygiene, good exercise, good nutrition, and talk to your friends. If you're struggling, call a friend, and talk to them about it too, so that you're not alone, because we're all in this together.
We got another question right now. Are you seeing any sort, or has there been any sort of strain on any mental health systems here in the Spokane area since the beginning of this?
You know, I'm not 100% sure what the strain is. I know that at Frontier, we are actively still doing intakes, and we've been busy as ever. So we're still seeing a lot of people coming through the front door via the telephone, obviously not through the actual front door. So we're still active. All of our clinicians are seeing or hearing or talking to clients from home. So we're trying to maintain as much as possible services as usual. And I think because there is a need, a lot of people are afraid and they want to talk to someone, and being able to have alternative ways to do that has been really important, so that people don't feel isolated and alone. At least they're able to still connect with someone via the phone, via crisis lines. You know, there's still help and services available.
And our last question, Dr. Johnson, if you could just speak to folks at home, what would your message be to them this morning?
Well, I guess my message would be is to you know, be strong. You know, hold on to the hope. You know, we're a strong people, and I think that, you know, we can rise to this occasion. You know, and when these things happen, let's look for ways to allow this to make us better and not bitter, to be able to grow and learn from this, and just, you know, help each other and collaborate together, because I think we can do this. So, thank you.